It's hard to accept that the world is mysterious, with various mysteries hidden beneath. Some of those mysteries have been discovered, but some are yet to be discovered. But what are the ancient secrets that were unearthed and surprised everyone? It is said these are mysteries that no one was supposed to see. Curious to know? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to the Abandoned Archaeologist again, the channel to learn all about ancient archaeological findings. Today we'll discuss the unseen and unheard discoveries from the ancient world. But before we begin, to get your attention, we have a question you can answer at the end of the video by watching it. When was Cleopatra born? So write down your answer in the comment section and see if you got it right. Here we begin. The oldest map in Europe. A large stone slab with random markings was discovered to be much more than just another old rock. Instead, it could be the oldest map ever discovered in Europe, dating back 4,000 years. The slab is nearly 2 meters square, with one side rough and the other covered in what appeared to be an unusual collection of drawings and lines carved into the surface. Archaeologists examined the stone and discovered that the carvings were not random. Instead, the etchings depict the Unearthed River and its numerous tributaries, making it Europe's oldest cartographical representation of a known territory. The slab of rock was largely overlooked when it was discovered in 1900 during an archaeological excavation of a prehistoric burial ground in Finisterre, Western Brittany. The rock was one of the walls of a small stone coffin-like box used to hold the dead's corpses. The engraved surface faces the interior of the tomb. The team that recovered it, led by local archaeologist Paul du Châtelier, had to be disappointed. The slab with some scratches did not pass muster. It was kept in the cellars of Mr. Châtelier's castle, Château de Carnas. The slab was recently rediscovered and re-examined by a team led by Dr. Clement Nicholas of Bournemouth University. Clement told History Hit that they used high-resolution 3D surveys and photogrammetry to figure out what the engravings were about. When the results were returned, it was clear that there were repeated symbols engraved in the slab connected by lines. It appeared to Clement and his team to be a map. But surely that would be impossible. A Bronze Age map on a 4,000-year-old stone would be thousands of years older than Europe's oldest known maps. So they rushed to obtain a current map to serve as an overlay. It matched, much to their surprise. The Unearthed River, which runs for about 18 miles, dominates the map. Its tributaries are also depicted. Clement told History Hit that it was astonishingly accurate, possibly even 80%. As a result of their efforts, the team can claim that this is the earliest known European map. It is a stunning example of our forefathers' geographic knowledge and sophistication. The map's designers had a far more advanced understanding of topography than we had previously given them credit for. Cleopatra's tomb. Excavators have discovered a tunnel beneath the Posiris Magna Temple west of Alexandria's ancient city that they believe could lead to Queen Cleopatra's tomb. Evidence that this is the case is yet to be seen, but this discovery would be a significant find, with the potential to rewrite our understanding of Egypt's most famous queen. If Cleopatra's mausoleum had not already vanished beneath the waves of the Mediterranean along with the majority of the Hellenistic city of Alexandria and is one day discovered, it would be an almost unprecedented archaeological discovery. While many famous historical rulers' tombs still stand, the mausoleum of Antony, Augustus, and Cleopatra's mortal enemy in Rome is one example. Their contents were frequently looted and lost centuries ago. One notable exception is the tomb of Philip II of Macedon, Alexander the Great's father, discovered in Vergina in the late 1970s. The tomb was discovered intact, allowing for decades of scientific research into its contents, advancing our understanding of members of the Macedonian royal family and their court. A similar thing would be true if Cleopatra's tomb was discovered. Largest geoglyph in the world. A series of sinuous lines discovered in India's Thar Desert may be the largest geoglyph ever discovered. Geoglyphs, sprawling designs formed with earth or stone, have never been discovered in India, though they have been discovered in other deserts in Peru and Kazakhstan. The Indian glyph comprises several spirals and a long snaky line that doubles back on itself. The patterns cover 51 acres of arid land near Pakistan's border. A hike along all of the lines would cover 30 miles. The line's purpose is unknown, but they are near several rock cairns, stacks, and memorial stones, the latter carved with Hindu deities images like Krishna and Ganesha. The lines could have religious or ceremonial significance, according to discoverers and independent French researcher Carlo Otheimer and Johann Otheimer. Because there are no high points nearby and the terrain is flat, the overall pattern is not visible from the ground. As a result, The geoglyphs were discovered only after the Oppenheimer scouted the area on Google Earth. The lines were discovered on Google Earth in 2014 while conducting a virtual survey of the area. They visited several intriguing locations in 2016. Several promising locations were discovered to be furrows from failed tree plantations. However, near the village of Boha, the researchers discovered patterns that had nothing to do with agriculture. The boostropedon is a line that doubles back on itself in an alternating pattern, going from right to left and then left to right. This back-and-forth style was used in the writing of some ancient languages, including ancient Greek and Etruscan from what is now Italy. Despite their size, the lines on the ground are fairly subtle. They're dug about 4 inches or 10 centimeters into the desert soil and are only 8 to 20 inches wide. The researchers aren't sure how the lines were formed, but they could have been formed with a plow drawn by a draught animal such as a camel. The researchers estimate that the designs are 150 years old, possibly as old as 200 years, based on weathering and sparse vegetation growth in and around the lines. That older age would correspond to the age of the nearby memorial stones. According to Oppenheimer's, the area is uncultivated, with no water available for irrigation nearby. The land is used for grazing goats and sheep. A serpent-shaped line 6.8 miles long in a boustropedon-style pattern of 23 nearly parallel lines are nearby. These lines total 5.7 miles in length, or 9.2 kilometers. Another small spiral and a few faint lines nearby indicate that the geoglyphs were once much larger. There are 9 stone structures in and around the lines, the largest of which is a pillar about 5 feet tall. Around 3 of the structures are rock cairns, 4 are carved memorial stones with unknown inscriptions, and 3 others are simple rectangular stones used as memorials or landmarks. The final stone is a sati stone, erected to honor a widow who threw herself on her husband's funeral pyre after he was killed in battle. According to the researchers, old carvings and memorials are common in the Thar Desert, so the stones may have had little to do with the geoglyphs around them. For the time being, the researchers added, the lines must be protected because they have already been damaged by vehicles since the satellite images were taken in 2014. The meanings of other geoglyphs around the world are also unknown. For example, the Nazca lines in Peru, which depict birds, cats, and other animals, have been studied by modern archaeologists since the 1920s. However, no one knows why the lines were drawn. The circular and hexagonal geoglyphs in the Amazon show no signs of habitation, and archaeologists believe the design served a ceremonial purpose. However, in Russia, between the 3rd and 4th millennia BC, geoglyph makers carved a massive elk out of rocks. Why? It's yet another earthly enigma. What do you think of these unexplainable mysteries? Comment your views, and the answer to your question is January 69 BC. Make sure to subscribe for more such videos.